I do not have a perfect garden. There are flaws in every garden. Leaves, we still have holes on my cabbage leaves. Country Murray here, can you believe it? It's April already. So we're looking to put more warm weather crop in the garden and start to get rid of most of these cooler weather crop. So for example, my brassicas, the cabbages that I have in here, some of them have already folded. I'm going to take them out today and start to put in some new warm weather crop. So come along with me today as we remove or harvest some of these cabbages and maybe other things that may be ready right now in the garden, but we're gonna start getting rid of the cooler season things. For the brassicas, if you're in Central Florida or North Florida, you could go ahead and leave your brassicas some more, because I still have brassicas here that haven't been folded as yet. I'm gonna give those another 4 weeks and then I can go ahead and remove those from the garden. I'm just gonna take you guys in a bit closer just to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking about. This cabbage right here just started folding, so I'm going to have to give this cabbage another 3 or 4 weeks for it to be ready. Over here we have a cabbage that is fully ready, and to know when the cabbage is fully ready, all you have to do is go in, squeeze on the side, and if it's hard, then you know that that cabbage is fully ready. Avoid squeezing the head or the top of the cabbages. They will get worm, or they may get worm. Some of the time they don't always get the worms, but don't test your cabbages by squeezing down on the upper portion. Try to go for the sides. We have more cabbages here. This is a lot of leaf, so if we wanted to go ahead, we could have harvested this and just eat the leaves, because it's just the leaves you're eating. Cabbage is really all leaves, but we normally wait on them to fold properly, and then we can go ahead and have that compact cabbage. Lettuce here, more buttercurrant lettuce over here, and April is the final month for these in the garden. That cabbage right there, it's split on me. I'm going to see if I can take you guys in and show you exactly what I'm talking. Right there you can see that split, so that cabbage has been there too long. I have to go now and get that one out of the garden also. For amaranth, guys, I'm overrun with amaranth right now. My grow bag area is filled with cooler season crop, and I need to start getting them out within another 4 weeks or so. As I've said, we're now in April. I think today is the 3rd of April. Today is Good Friday, but we're now in April, and if you're in a subtropical climate during the month of April, this is your last month of really harvesting, or your last chance for really harvesting these cooler season crop. Maybe if we do get a milder weather come May, we can push these things until the middle of May for the cabbages that won't fold that properly or get that compact. We can push them till the middle of May, but it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of watering during the daytime when those things start to get bleak. So let's go ahead now, remove a few of these cabbages and make some space for those warmer season crop. Getting this one out first. And this cabbage has been sitting here for the past 2 weeks now, ready to be harvested, but I just didn't have any space for it. So here we go with it, and this is quite a heavy one. Let me get this split one over here, or this cracked cabbage, and it's a heavy one also. I have another cabbage around this side. I'm just gonna check to see if it's fully ready, and then if anything we can remove it. So this one here, it's small, but it can go. A lot of leaf, and it's taking over this bag. This is a Vigo bed with the pak choys in it. I'll have to go ahead and harvest some of these pak choy very soon just to make space in this bed. Here we have melons and cucumbers coming up on this trellis right here. Over here again, this is a confusion spot because these are some volunteer tomatoes that are coming up here, and we have cucumbers and melons growing all over this trellis right here. I think I see a few cucumbers around here. Let me see if I can get them. That's one, and we have one more closer to the wall. So we have these cucumbers right here, and with cucumbers you really want to get them when they're young or full, but you don't want to get them when they're too full from the plant because that will cause the plant to die back. So let's pop this cabbage out of this bag, and I think I have a squash somewhere in this bag that I planted about a week ago. Cabbage was overshading it, so now it should be good. It should be getting enough sunlight to go on its own. Right here, that's a little squash plant there. So getting this out, allowing that to come up in the bag now. With this side of the garden, I'm trying to turn it into a vertical garden. So I have all these trellises on this side. Everything I'm trying to grow up over on this side. So I'm going with cucumbers, watermelons, whatever can go on a trellis. I'll put on this side of the yard for most part. Here we have some zucchini, and those are coming along quite beautiful. Got some cabbages and 4 cucumbers. But before we go any further, guys, I want to clear up something and show you guys something in the garden. So let's go over to the garden. Let me just explain something to you guys. I want to show you guys I do not have a perfect garden. There are flaws in every garden. Leaves, we still have holes on my cabbage leaves. I still get holes on them even though I use the rabbit urine. Let me look if I see any with bigger holes. Even this one right here. Even though these are some lower leaves, it's still affected by pests. And I'm going to take you guys around to the other side and just show you exactly what I'm talking about. So there isn't a perfect garden. I'm trying to find one with some... Okay, let's come down here. Look down on this one. This is a lower leaf and it's touching the ground. And look at it, all eaten out. But if you come on top and you look at these leaves, everything is all looking beautiful. So it's not a perfect garden. Things do get bite and things do die back in my garden. Up here we have this cabbage that has been struggling for the past maybe a week now. It's always looking like this, never bounce back. Think I'm going to remove it. Maybe I'll give it to the chickens because I don't want to give the rabbit too much brassica right now. They'll get bloated. So I just wanted to clear that up briefly because I know a lot of new gardeners, first time gardeners just starting out, come across my channel and you're seeing all these beautiful plants, and it kind of set the bar high and people think that it's hard to get there. Even when they start planting and things start getting a few bites here and there, people will give up. So it's not like that. Yes, you have to take care of your plants. However, you're going to have failures in the garden, so don't be afraid to try. So I'm just going to move on now to a few things that I'll be planting for the warmer season and a few things that maybe you can plant for the warmer season also. So the first warm season crop that I'll be starting off with is the longevity spinach. It's not a common one, but if you know, you know. This one can handle the heat. Most people will tell you about Malabar spinach. Yes, those are good. If you're going to be planting Malabar spinach and okras during the warmer month, that's really 2 slimy things you have planting, you know. It's kind of tricky to make a meal most of the time. So when you have something like the longevity spinach and okras, then it is more a balanced gardening technique you're going about, unless you really like those slimy things. But for the longevity spinach, these will do well in the warmer month. So longevity spinach, Malabar spinach, those are your greens, or just a few of the greens that you can keep in the garden during the warmer months. Next warm season crop that you can plant, that's going to be beans. whether it be yard long beans, cowpeas, whichever one, you can plant those. And the thing with cowpeas is that they make a good ground cover. They are also a great nitrogen fixer, but it depends. One thing that works for one location doesn't necessarily work for all locations. So for us here in Florida with our sandy soil, when we plant cowpeas or cow beans and say that it's fixing nitrogen into our soil, it does make a lot of difference for us because our sandy soil here, if you're planting in the native soil, it don't hold on to nutrients. It doesn't hold on to nitrogen as long as a loamy or a clay soil would have. So if you're amending your soil here in Florida, then that will make a difference. Other than that, you're just wasting your time. If you're going to be planting cowpeas for ground cover, just plant it for ground cover and call it a day. But don't depend on that nitrogen in the sandy soil here in Florida. You just won't get it to hold on to it that long. Yes, it will give you nitrogen. It just won't hold on as long as other soil types may. The next warm season crop, or I should say lukewarm season crop, that people tend to make a mistake with, and that's going to be bell peppers. For bell peppers, now in the month of April, if you're in Central Florida, I wouldn't advise you to go ahead and start bell peppers from seed. Yes, you can plant bell peppers, but go to the nursery or your store and get those seedling and put them in ground. The bell peppers, they're gonna be long gone by end of June, early July. They'll be struggling. So if it's hot peppers, you can start hot peppers from seed now. You could have gone ahead and started hot peppers way back in the end of January indoors, or even in February direct sowed in ground. So for bell peppers, if you're going in with bell peppers now in April, just save yourself that stress. Go to the store, get a few seedling and plant them for this season. The next warm season crop is going to be okras, and I'm smiling because okras is a Caribbean man staple. We love okras back in the Caribbean. So if you want, now in April, you can go ahead, start your okras from seed. I've started mine about 3 weeks ago. I have a video when I started those in the grow bags, maybe 3 weeks ago or so. However, I'll be putting in okras every 4 weeks. So that's my interval for putting in my okras during the warmer months. And these things are going to run you right back until maybe about fall. Next one is going to be corn. You can start your corn now. The thing with corn is just direct sow them. Try not to transplant the corns. Yes, they can be transplanted. I'm not saying they can't be, but you'll have more luck if you just go ahead and direct sow them. Put 2 or 3 seeds to a hole. Back where I'm from, old timers normally tell you that it's 3 seeds to a hole. However, you can put 2 seeds to a hole. If you have all those 3 seeds germinate and start the growth process, then you can go ahead and thin the corns out. The reason why I don't normally put corn in my garden, corn comes with a lot of stress, a lot of problems. Worms tend to go at corn, especially on a full moon. So I try to avoid planting corns in my garden. I'm not sure if I'm going to try it out this year, but I'm still thinking about it. The next thing with corn is if you're going to plant corn, you can't, or it is not advisable for you to plant one corn here and then another corn 10 feet away. Try to get them in a cluster so that the pollination process will be easier on those corn. That is how you will get the best out of your corn. So corn, good warm weather crop. Here's our next great warm season plant, and this is pumpkin. These are Indian pumpkins. However, it is advised, or most people tell you in Florida, that if you want a pumpkin that can last a time, you must go with Seminole pumpkin, and that is so true. But for me, I've been planting Indian pumpkins for years, and these do well here in Florida. I can get a good harvest and then they'll die back, so they don't do as well as the Seminole pumpkin, but just enough for the household. And we enjoy the Indian pumpkin more than how we would enjoy the Seminole pumpkin. So for me, it's Indian pumpkin all the way. Last season I had sweet potatoes in this location, and here we have more slip coming out of the ground. Slips over there, and other places in the yard slips are popping up. If you're a fan of sweet potato, now is the time. You can go in, it's warm now, and you can start planting your sweet potatoes. If you don't have any slip, they're quite easy to get, or they are quite easy to catch. You can go to the store, buy those sweet potatoes, put them in a cool area, and most time the eyes will start growing. So with all the warm season crop that I'm showing, I know the Jamaicans watching this channel or this particular video, and the Caribbean people, they are wondering how comes I haven't mentioned callaloo as yet, or what is known as amaranth. Amaranth is a next solid warm season crop. It is the number one warm season crop in my garden. This is what my family and I will eat most of the time throughout the year. Amaranth is my number one warm season crop. This thing, it needs little to no care. So you will always have amaranth in your garden. The moment you get an amaranth plant and you allow that one plant, that first plant to go to seed, you will have amaranth for a lifetime in your garden. It's hard to get rid of. Amaranth is like Bermuda grass to me. It is something that is invasive and it's so hard to get rid of out of the garden. Sunflower. Sunflower is a next warm season plant that you can put in the garden. It will attract pollinators, and the seeds, you can have the seeds to use also. So sunflower, you can't leave it out of your warm season garden. I know tomatoes, people are thinking about tomatoes. Yes, tomato is a warm season garden plant or crop, but it's not advisable, or I wouldn't advise you guys to go in with tomatoes seeds right now here in Central Florida. You can get away with the Everglades tomato, which are native to Florida. There are some tiny tomatoes. However, the seeds, they're quite challenging to come by. So if you know someone that has the seed, that sell those seeds, you can drop it in the comment section for others to know. And also, I would love to get some of those Everglades tomato. I have something that is similar to the Everglades tomato, but those are just the regular Jamaican cherry tomatoes, and those go long into the summer also. But Everglades, I hear that they will outdo those tomatoes that I have, so I would love to try the Everglades tomato. So that's gonna be it from Country Morrow. God bless you all. See you in the next one. Happy gardening and cheers.